Bonjour, my name is Catherine Gonzalez, and the reason I'm bonjouring you all the way from my beautiful Paris vacation is to teach you guys the proper way to conduct an interview. These tips will be helpful for yearbook interviews, news magazine interviews, TV production interviews, really interviews in general. So without further ado, let's get right into these tips. So the first thing would be to schedule your interview ahead of time. It will save you a lot of trouble of having to chase the person around for multiple classes or to interrupt a class to get the interview. Unless it's a spur of the moment kind of event like prom or homecoming or senior crown day, junior J day, freshman orientation day, sophomore PSAT or SAT day, whatever, then you would go up to the person, give them some conversation, compliment them on something, and then introduce yourself as so and so and from the yearbook and ask if you could interview them. Most of the time, this will work and they will associate positive feelings with you because you complimented them and they will agree to the interview. So, this Friday, my school is holding the senior red carpet day for the seniors to show off their crowns. So, what I would do is I would go up to a senior and be like, hey, I really like what you did with your crown. I like the flowers, I like the color, I like the lettering, and then I would identify myself as Catherine Gonzalez and with the yearbook, and I would ask if I can maybe interview them for the senior spread or the senior crown day spread. And they will most of the time say yes. So if your interview is pre-scheduled, be prepared, have a set of questions that you're ready to ask. You don't necessarily just have to ask these questions, just have them ready because interviews can be a little awkward at first. So having a list of questions will be very helpful to get the ball rolling with your interview. So if it is also pre-scheduled, be punctual. If it's at 3, don't show up at 3:01 or 3:30. It doesn't matter how late you are, just don't be late. Don't do that to your interviewee. You wouldn't like it if you were the interviewee and your interviewer arrives late. Be the bigger person. You show up at 2:50. Just don't be late. You wouldn't like it to be left at the altar waiting a minute or half a second or an hour. So don't do it to the person you're interviewing. So before you actually start asking questions, the first question you have to ask is if it is okay for you to record them. Once they have agreed to being recorded, turn on your recorder or your phone and ask them on the record, can I record you? If they agree, proceed with the interview. The second thing you should ask them is how to say their name and how to spell it for the record. Just because you're recording doesn't mean you don't have to take notes. Be prepared. Take a notepad and a pen. They're really helpful. Even if you are recording, there are some things you should write down. If it's a group interview or you're interviewing multiple people, maybe you want to make notes on Juan Rodriguez is the one wearing the blue shirt and the short hair. Kendrick is wearing a white shirt and has long hair. Or, he has a red book bag, she has a pink book bag. Those notes are really important and they will usually help the photographer accompanying you to identify the people for the spread. Some other notes that you can take are if their body language changes when you ask a specific question, their body position, whether they start tearing up, whether they seem anxious or nervous. Those are all really helpful notes to take. So for the questions, remember the 6 W's. They're very helpful and should be the base of most, if not all, your questions. Who, what, where, when, why, and how. I know we learned these in elementary school. We learned them for a reason. They're very helpful questions. Also, remember there's 2 types of questions that you can ask, open-ended and closed-ended questions. Open-ended questions are questions that are really helpful because you can get more information out of an open-ended question than a closed-ended question. A closed-ended question is usually a yes or no question or has a specific answer. So a closed-ended question would be, do you like the school? They would answer yes or no. That's it. An open-ended question would be, why do you like this school? The person would be, because of the classes, because of the AP teachers, because of my friends. For whatever reason, they will give you more information with an open-ended question. Also, remember you want to ask questions. There's 3 kinds or 3 specific categories of questions you would like to ask: the factual questions, the understanding questions, and emotional questions. Factual questions are in the name. The answers are facts. So, what is your name? How old are you? What grade are you in? What's your favorite color? Those are factual questions. Understanding questions are usually the follow-up questions to the factual questions. So an understanding question you can ask is, why do you like to play volleyball? So, for example, maybe a girl that came from Colombia would say, yeah, and in Colombia I used to play and I was really good and I was the best out of all my friends and I even went to states or nationals and I've been playing since a young age. So there's your understanding question. You understand why this girl is so good at volleyball or why she plays volleyball here, because it makes her feel closer to home. Emotional questions would be, say, I'm interviewing the same Colombian girl on the volleyball team. An emotional question would be, did you play in Colombia? Maybe she starts tearing up and she says, yeah, my dad taught me how to play volleyball. He was really good at it, but then he died and then we came here. And that's an emotional question, really, overall. So let's get past the questions. During the interview, don't forget to smile and make eye contact. Don't stare because that's creepy. You're going to freak them out and they're going to want to end the interview as fast as possible. And don't be smiling like this all the time because that also freaks people out. So don't stare, but also maintain eye contact. Throughout the interview, act interested if they're telling you, oh yeah, because I learned how to read when before I was even born, but you don't like reading. Don't just act bored. Don't be on your phone. Don't be talking to your friend. Don't, pay attention. Pretend you like the topic you're talking about. And if you do really like whatever you're talking about, don't take the interview for yourself. You're interviewing that person, not yourself. Don't interrupt them. Don't tell them a side story. Don't do that. Do that after your interview and on your own time. And finally, to wrap the interview up and this video as well, make sure to get their contact information just in case you need a follow-up interview or to ask follow-up questions for whatever reason. And then finally, don't forget to thank them for their time. So you would say, thank you for your time. I will let you know if I need anything more from you. And we've gotten to the end of the video finally. So thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. And I hope these tips really do help you. See you next time.